Experience Milwaukee is presented by Visit Milwaukee, our city's award-winning convention and visitors bureau. Show music is provided by Milwaukee's own Newski. And now, let's get into the show. Hello, Milwaukee! Hey, Adam. Hey, Steve.
Milwaukee is fun-loving,
up and coming,
a rising star.
And now, let's get into the episode.
Joe.
Steve, great
What's
to have
up?
you with us.
How are you?
Hey, we
Yeah.
appreciate you being here today.
First of all, thank you for the tour. It was incredible.
My pleasure.
It's as someone who has kind of been here only a couple times, but I go to one spot in the club, and I've been to the lounge and to a conference room. I didn't know the kind of the breadth of what is available here, but for our listeners, first of all, if you can give your role here, that'd be awesome.
Sure, it's my pleasure.
What you ensure happens here day to day. And then what's the high level, purpose, but also the kind of the functionality and the experience here?
Yeah, again, Steve, we're thrilled to have you joining us here at the Milwaukee Athletic Club. The opportunity in a 140-year-old club celebrating its birthday, founded in 1882, its 140th birthday in 2022,
so cool.
Has just been an outstanding opportunity to celebrate our members. We exist to serve our members. We play, I think, a great role in this community as a place to come downtown and be your hub for the downtown experience. Mm-hmm. As its name would suggest, the Milwaukee Athletic Club focused on both social and athletics. And over the years, has had thousands of member families as the leaders and influencers of Milwaukee. So we've had the recent opportunity to go under a full renovation. We closed New Year's Eve of 2018. We reopened New Year's Eve of 2021 after 3 years.
What a way to do it, too.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
As you think of COVID, and nobody saw that coming, obviously, it added a year to construction and all the drama that came with it.
Yeah.
But to be under the knife, so to speak, during that allowed us really an opportunity to rethink the vision and what the members would be looking for upon reopening.
Yeah.
So I can give you we'll sort of paint the picture for your listeners. We're a downtown property here in the Arts and Theater District, block off the Milwaukee River. We're 2 blocks from the Pfister. I'm privileged in my run, and you had asked, I'm the chief operating officer here, so we just try to keep everything going and on track. Hire some of the best service and hospitality professionals available in the market, and deliver an experience for our members and our guests, the opportunity to come and feel like you connected with something in Milwaukee that was bigger than just being downtown one night. Mm-hmm. So that membership experience starts on the 13th floor. We've got a beautiful restaurant. We have an opportunity today on the show. I think you've got Chef Tom to talk about. We're thrilled to have him. He'll never say it. I'm going to argue he's the best chef in the state.
There you go.
We stole him after 5 years up at the American Club, and to have a 5-diamond guy in a club experience is phenomenal. His creativity and his team he's put together really give us a unique selling proposition that sets us apart from a lot of clubs across the nation where we lead with our food. And we can. And the social experience, you have a chance to talk to Leslie today, one of our food and beverage managers. She's got an outstanding partnership with Tim, our food and beverage director, the rest of the team, the opportunity to create social programming. And whether it's the January mocktails, whether it's a cocktail program, we just got a lot of fun. So it all starts on that 13th floor. There's an outdoor terrace that overlooks the city, a couple of fire pits. Members just have a great time connecting. And when, again, you can lead with your food and beverage programming and let it be about the membership experience and who you're sitting with. We don't want to say we take the food and beverage for granted here. We spend a lot of time so that members actually can. And just make it about themselves.
Yeah.
So coming off the 13th floor, you go down, floors 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We have 50 apartments in the building. I think 2 are available for lease in case somebody's looking for a downtown place. Come let us know. We have 50 apartments and then 6 hotel rooms. And so we have our members stay, their families from out of town, reciprocal members from other clubs across the country. And those 6 rooms are open to the public as well. So you can always call the club and see if we've got a room available, if it's a tight date in the city or you're looking for access into what we believe one of the better service experiences in town. We go down into floors 5, 6, and 7 within the club, which are our athletics floors. It's $1 million of athletics equipment. It's some of the best trainers in the city.
Looks amazing, too.
Yeah, if you're a member here, you've got over 20 hours of complimentary classes included in your monthly membership fees. And so whether that's yoga for you, whether that's a HIIT training class, whether you want to be on spin bikes, whether you want personal training, small group class, it really is a spot where there's a reason. Milwaukee's our first name, and athletics our middle name.
Yeah.
And it just fits in this program.
And it felt really approachable. It didn't feel like you need to be at a certain level to jump into the fitness area. It's wide open. It's bright. It's welcoming. It seemed really just for anyone.
Well, we appreciate that. We spent a lot of time and effort on making sure that everybody feels comfortable. You know, the old club world, and there were men's athletics separate from women's, and there were separate doors. And if you go over hundreds of years of history in clubs across the nation, there's some really good historical things to keep in clubs, and there's some things to let be in the rearview mirror in clubs. And so one of the things here, just that approachability, the authenticity of everything that we're doing is really part of the intentional programming. So we appreciate you noticing.
Yeah. And you know what? As you walked around with me and you were showing me things, in the lounge, what I noticed, everyone had a smile on their face. Everyone wants to be here and hang out.
It is, again, the private club world is optional. And you can come and stay if you feel comfortable, and you go and stop paying dues if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so we spend a lot of time.
So no subscription, no.
Yeah, you've got a membership.
Yeah.
But you're not required.
Yeah.
It's a month-to-month program after an initial initiation fee.
Yeah.
You're not signing in a 10-year contract. And
Yeah.
we earn it with every experience.
Sure.
And the great part about a membership club is membership here is through referral and invitation from other members. And so people bring people they want to be around.
Right.
And which is kind of neat. So you see, just finishing our sort of verbal tour of the building, 5, 6, 7 are athletics, floors 3 and 4, a ballroom for 300 people, a ballroom for 200 people, a ballroom for 100 people, or anything less than that.
Sure.
Gives you a sense of wedding, special event, business meeting, family celebration. So all of those things are in this building and open to the public. So you don't need to have a member connection into those 3rd and 4th floor.
And blank slates. You can configure those rooms any way you want.
And you've got in-house catering with Chef Tom and his team. So all of a sudden we're back to that 5-diamond chef.
Perfect.
So we're sitting on the 3rd floor here in the Elephant Room, open to the public Wednesday through Saturday. Folks are welcome to come on in 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and literally get a taste of the Mac and see what you like. Right next door behind us here is our signature Elephant Suites. Nick, our on-site golf pro, is a great guy, and whether that's a kid's birthday party, and he's taught 1,500 kids through the First Tee program and teaching responsibility and timeliness and how to be a young man and woman growing up and through the vehicle of golf. So we're thrilled to have our Mac Families program talk about that with golf or swim lessons here on site. You mentioned the 2nd floor club lounge. That's a great spot for, again, come down after a workout, fill up your Yeti on the way out, get coffee, water, hang out, meet friends, take your first meeting. We've got Mac Kids here as a kids drop-off program where parents can come for a workout, go in and have dinner, go out, meet a friend. And so you really have it all. And we finish in that lower level with the pool. 3 lanes, 20 meters, salt water, no chlorine burn, no smell, an 86-degree ambient temperature, 84-degree water. Yeah. And right now we're sitting here with 20-degree wind chills outside.
Yeah, it's cold out.
I know where you're going after this.
Right. Jump right in. It's interesting. You mentioned Hub. This really can be the spot where you can stay here all day, and you're not going to get bored. 2, you're going to be able to accomplish everything you need to in your day. The interesting thing to me is you can come in and out as you need to as you're moving about the city. For more remote type of people like myself, it's interesting to have this home base here. We're able to move around the city quite easily.
Yeah, we've got a ton of members who, whether it's Lake Country or Pewaukee, Waukesha, that work downtown. Now with the hybrid work environment, we've got folks who are coming down using the club lounge as their co-working lounge for their meetings.
Zoom or in person.
Separate boardrooms here. Again, you've got the food and beverage here. We literally talk being able to come park downtown, eat here, go to the bar here, and then take one of our 2 member shuttles over to the Bucks game or the Marquette game, and we'll come pick you up after.
Yeah.
And so we have the arts and athletics shuttles designed for people to make this their hub downtown, and then just park in one spot. Let traffic clear out, go back and sit at your club. Chat with friends and enjoy your time.
You are making downtown easier.
We're trying to actually be part. There are some clubs in certainly in our city and others, and your club is where you hide from the city, and you come in and you cocoon away, and you sort of have this spot that it's just us and my small group. This club's actually meant to come in here and now impact the city. And so we've gotten a tremendous diversity in membership. We've had over 500 members join last year alone. Wow. And as we talked earlier on the tour, we had 40 members join in December. The youngest was 20, the oldest was 96. And the programming in it, in our 500 members that joined last year, over half were women. You've got people of color finding a spot in the city, being able to be included in a conversation that traditionally the private club world just hasn't found a way to crack that code.
Right.
And it's neat because it's not us doing it as the folks working here, it's our members.
Yeah.
And our members are deciding that joining with people like me includes every leader in Milwaukee. And it's no longer that traditional member. It's people who want to be part of this great downtown.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee reflects a wonderful diversity, whether men, women, all different races, gender, programming.
Yeah.
This is that spot that really has started to become kind of a neat little bastion for that to start.
And you feel it
in the city.
You feel it here. I mean, Leslie was talking about the balance in a perfect cocktail, right? Or those traditional that you can take a spin or twist on. And really, what I've noticed here today is you've got the baseline kind of history of this building or these rooms, but then you walk around and you see the injection of sort of the new identity of the city that's blending with the club. In terms of visual, like the Milwaukee flag and the basketball court, things like that. And then you have the people who, to me, are reflecting what the city looks like today.
It's true in both our members and our team members.
Yes.
And so it's a neat thing where we're able to look at, again, Milwaukee as a city, and we should reflect the city we're in the heart of.
Right, yeah.
And so it should feel that way when you walk through the club lounge. You should feel welcome as you walk in, and our team members should feel welcome. And it's in the multiple languages that are spoken. It's in the neighborhoods that our teams are coming from. And we're promoting from within again and again.
Yeah.
And when you get a guy like Chef Tom who comes in and says, again, his environment, his most recent role, as you talk about that American Club spot, that's 9 different restaurants, it's 600 employees, it's a $60 million business. He's here with 60 employees and a $4 million business. He's here because he wants to teach somebody how to poach an egg. Yeah. He doesn't want to sit in a meeting. And so you're in the environment where people have a passion for the individual role, and it's not for just growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's the focus on being better, being more consistent, and giving our members a place to be proud of.
And I felt like he, in particular with Tom, I sensed he enjoyed the line of sight to how what he's doing has an impact.
Yeah, the size of this building, and it's the same for all of us in the leadership roles, you can touch every spot in this building every day, and you can do it 3 and 4 times a day.
Yeah.
It's a small enough footprint where you get to put, and again, Chef does a great job of it, our food and beverage team throughout, our athletics team, get into our membership team. We have Thomas and Steph who'd love to talk to your listeners about membership.
Yeah.
People who've not traditionally thought of themselves as a private club member are some of the most fun ones to take a tour with, because as you and I talked about earlier, neither one of us grew up in a club environment.
Right.
That wouldn't have been an economic future for us that we ever saw in our lives. And yet we sit here, this where you get a private city club that's more like leasing a car than buying a luxury car. It's a much more affordable thing. And as we were taking the tour of the noon lunch ball upstairs and basketball, you're watching folks who are in banking or commercial real estate or attorneys and doctors who are 40, 50, and 60 years old playing basketball with folks who are 22, 24, 26, just starting fresh out of school.
Just getting their start.
And nobody's talking business.
No.
And yet you're meeting people, and doors open when you don't think they're going to. And so we have a program here where you can network, you can never solicit. And so within the club, no one's going to hand you their business card.
Sure.
You can ask for someone. You can be in a conversation with someone who's coming up, and we have a tremendous transfer of knowledge from our members who've got something to say. And it also works in a reverse mentoring way where some of our older members are learning from the younger ones coming up. And so that exchange and transfer of knowledge across the generations is one of the most unique elements of membership here.
That's so cool. Leslie, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. What is this magic stuff you have in front of me here? You've got like a bottle, you've got a couple of pours, you've got a mocktail, water, which I heard is good for you, but I don't know about that. What is all this?
So to start off, we've got Dirty Helen, which is from Milwaukee's own Great Lakes Distillery. They make a ton of wonderful products, and
they absolutely do.
We were fortunate enough to be able to select our own barrel. So we have this delicious, absolutely amazing barrel strength bourbon.
Bottle number 57.
Yes.
Of your very own.
Our very own.
Yes.
MAC exclusive.
So we are in the beautiful Elephant Room. I have that correct?
Yes.
This is like cool meets speakeasy meets approachable kind of vibe where you can come in, get a drink, you can sit off to the side and watch, you can dig up to the front of the bar and you can get your cocktails or your mocktails or whatever you want. Mostly you're hanging out with friends.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you run all of this in this room or everything in the club, or what is exactly your role here?
So I'm a food and beverage manager, technically speaking.
Yeah.
I'm essentially a bar manager, floor manager, buyer. You do everything. I do everything.
Yeah.
I make the menus for both of the bars.
Beverage or food? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
So I do the cocktail menus at both bars, and I do all of our ordering for liquor, wine, beer.
Nice.
And
so you've got all the connects.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to be good friends for a long time now. All right.
Good. Glad
cool.
to hear.
So you make sure everything's the way members enjoy and expect and want and desire, and you make sure it's all happening. So part of that included, I heard, for Dry January, for those who partake in that,
Absolutely.
you came up with like a suite of mocktails.
Yeah. So we had several different offerings. We had a smoky margarita type drink. We had golden milk latte, which was like a turmeric ginger coconut milk based drink that was served hot. And here in front of you, we have the Mac Rose, which is a sort of play off of a Jack Rose, if you're familiar with the classic cocktail.
I'm not, but I yes.
So a
love
Jack
it.
Rose traditionally is Applejack, grenadine, and lemon.
Okay.
So it's a like citrusy, slightly fruity, but also like packs a little bit of punch kind of cocktail.
Yeah.
And so we tied this all in with our very own city. We're using reishi citrus green tea, some pomegranate, lemon.
Nice.
And it's just a really beautiful and refreshing drink
Nice.
for any time of the day.
So when you are making mocktails or cocktails that are more signature to the club or the space, where does your inspiration come from? Like, are you looking at just twists on classics or new, or are these things that like you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, I have a vision, I need to make this right now? Because if it's that, I'm ready for taste testing anytime. Yeah.
I will call you as soon as that happens. That's sometimes how it happens, but more often than not, it's a twist on a classic, because really nothing beats the originals. They're around for hundreds of years for a reason.
Right.
They're balanced and wonderful, and they have staying power.
Yes.
So we take inspiration from those.
Cool. So this is, again, remind me?
So that's reishi citrus green tea, pomegranate, and lemon.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
It's like, it's not overly sweet.
No.
It's got good, like you said, good balance, and it's like you can sit and sip for as long as you want.
And you don't feel like you're missing out, whether it's a replacement for alcohol or pacing yourself with
Right.
a fun drink in between.
Right.
And it's not too high in sugar. It's really well balanced. And
It looks beautiful, too. Mm-hmm. So you feel like you're...
Yes.
In recent conversations around mocktails and dry January, part of it is like, hey, I want to feel like I have something that everyone else is kind of doing
Absolutely.
as well. So cool.
So
are we going to try that? Or who's trying that?
We sure can.
There's 2 pours here. I'm going to try some for sure.
I think we could. All right. So keep in mind, this is barrel proof. It is 61.1% alcohol by
That
volume.
doesn't scare me at all.
So it packs some punch. It's got some really nice malt quality to it. So it's not in the like smoky peaty sense, but it's sort of a Scotch drinker's drier bourbon. It's not quite as sweet as some heavier on the corn or wheat bourbons can be. So I think it's friendly to rye drinkers as well. So you can really taste the barley, and with that, you get like caramel and pecan and some like beautiful nutty notes on the top, and then like grassier undertones. I think. And
I'm always bad at articulating that, but you are dead on.
Yeah, it's just.
Do you get a smokiness at all to it? Or not?
A little bit. It's like an underlying...
Oh, it's so delicious.
The mash bill having so much balance in it, not being too heavy on any one grain, I think really ties in together all the flavors where some bourbons lean really heavily one way or really heavily another way.
Right. So what was the process? Because this is like the club's pick, right? Or your pick, maybe even?
So not my... personal pick, but so Tim, who is our F&B director, and then another one of our food and beverage managers also involved.
Sweet.
So we went and tasted at Great Lakes Distillery, and from all of the samples that we tried, this was the barrel that everyone enjoyed most.
So are these bottles going into cocktails? Are they being sold? Like, how does all that work?
So we're selling them and pouring them. So you can order a pour of it. You can order a cocktail with it. Yeah. We don't have it on our menu presently because we purchased it after our last menu was released.
Sure.
And it was a smaller barrel. So we have these for sale, and you can order it at the bar anytime.
All right. Well, hey, this was awesome. I appreciate everything. Thank you for jumping on with me real quick.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Cool. Tom, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you.
This is awesome. We are in the elephant room still. I don't think we're going to leave this room because it's pretty amazing.
I like it.
Tell us a bit about your role here, what you do, and how that all works out.
Yeah, so I actually started before we reopened in part of the kitchen redesign and some of that planning and some menu writing and things like that. And then when we opened on New Year's Eve of, 2021, it was full steam ahead.
What a day to open.
Yeah, how about it?
No pressure, hey?
You're right.
Don't mess anything up. Make it perfect. So what's kind of the experience around food here in the club?
Yeah, it's pretty. So we just finished our first year, and I think the first year was really about understanding what our members really want, and I think that was the most important lesson learned. We started up on the roof with 3 different menus: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
which is beautiful up there.
Yeah, it was beautiful spot, and I think that we, for the most part, we hit it on the head with the majority of our menu items. I think we learned and tweaked along the way and got some of the greatest hits and some of the traditional items that the past club had. So when I walked into this building, when it was under construction, it was the first time I'd ever been in here. So I didn't really have a whole lot of baseline to go on, and it was so it was kind of a blank slate for me, and we got pretty close, and we're getting closer, day by day, and every menu that we write is I think a little bit better and maybe a little more variety and has a little bit more intrigue or some compelling items, but also again I think this is the place where the greatest hits are gonna play, and
So food on the rooftop.
Yes, indeed.
There's another floor with food. Was that the fourth?
Yeah, so we have on the fourth floor is our really big kitchen. It's the banquet or production kitchen, which is where we do a lot of the prep for the rooftop restaurant. But we also have, a number of banquet spaces and a big wedding, like a grand ballroom.
Oh,
that we
right,
have big weddings and big meetings and Christmas parties and things like that.
Yeah.
So all of the food for those items come off of the fourth floor kitchen, which is one of the biggest kitchens I ever walked into.
That's cool.
So we and we have food delivered kind of all over the place. We have on our second floor we have a club lounge where we have
That's what I was thinking too. Right?
We have the salad bar here at the Mac was a thing and continues to be a thing.
Will always be a thing.
It will always be a thing apparently. So it's currently living in the club lounge and it's been popular since we reinstated it probably halfway through last year. It's one of those things that we learned pretty quick that this is something that's important.
Yeah.
So we stood it up and it's lives there now and may live there forever.
And then here in the Elephant Room, can you get food brought
You
in
can,
here?
yeah. You can get food from the roof restaurant. So we'll bring it down. It's a couple floors above us here, but we have it's connected to our register, so we'll know when orders come in and where they go, and we just bring it down when it's ready.
It's interesting that, and you said it, in that you all right, we made the menus, but then we're getting feedback and input. I've noticed two things being here today. One is that everyone here is listening to how to make things better, and the other thing that I think is even more important is there's not really a no here. It's how do we make it happen? How can we figure it out? How do we problem solve? How do we be flexible enough to make sure everyone is experiencing this place in the best way?
Well, you're nailing it. You're singing the song of hospitality right there.
But hard to execute.
Very hard.
Yeah.
It seems simple, but very hard. I think that the idea of listening is so vital to listen to your customer, get to know your customer. It can't be about me. We have an incredible team here, both front and back of house, that we try to check our egos at the door when we get here and not make it about us, which helps us deliver, I think, a very quality product. And the more we listen, I think the better we get. And no is not a word we like to say. It's what about this? Or can I interest you in that? Or will you try this?
Yes.
Instead of a no.
Yeah.
So that always, I think, plays well.
So besides the salad bar that's, got its notoriety here, what's one thing a newbie has to try if they're gonna eat something here?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's we do a kind of an interesting. I mean, most of the stuff again are pretty simple. This is not a complicated menu. It's not a complicated set of members that are looking for something really outrageous.
Sure.
So we make it interesting. That I think our best seller right now is this fried chicken sandwich that's got a bunch of different bacon and pimento cheese, and it just has 4 or 5 components.
Sounds amazing.
That are all put together pretty good, and it's one of our most popular ones. We have. I don't know if it might sound strange, but I don't know if there is a must-have or go-to.
Right.
When we write menus, we want everything. We want you to want everything.
Yes.
We want you to look at it and say, I don't know what to pick because it all looks good. So if somebody always comes in and orders the same thing, I don't think I'm doing my job.
There you go. You got to give them,
That's
got to
right.
make it hard for them.
Right.
In a good way. Cool. Well, thank you for coming on. This was awesome. Are you going to try a little sip of that?
We're in the elephant room, so I'm definitely going to have a little sip of the whiskey
Right.
you've been sipping on here.
Yeah, the Sturdy Helen is pretty good.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Steve.
thank you.
I appreciate it.
So, how do people get connected? Where do they find more information of just, not even membership, but just what's happening here, how they can just even slowly get more involved and hanging out?
A great way to do it. Again, we're here in the Elephant Room. It's open to the public. You can just walk in and have a cocktail and get a sense of the feel. It's easy to hear somebody say it's approachable. You want to feel it's approachable? Come to the Elephant Room.
Yeah.
That's the number one spot I'd tell your listeners if they're not familiar with the building. The website, certainly themacwi.com.
Okay.
So themacwi.com.
Okay.
Gives you a sense of the offerings, the programming, One of the unique things we launched just this month were our Mac Makers programs. And we've got DJ Shauna from the Bucks and Chris Gilbert, who's been in this town teaching dance and being involved in the community. So cool. Sam Regani, who's in, wonderful photographer, videographer. Jenna Cashew, who's joined as an author and writer.
Previous guest on the show, yeah.
And she's
Explore the 414.
Loves the city. Yeah. Great book about, just 100 Things to Do in Milwaukee Before You Die. Yeah. Just a wonderful ambassador. And all four of them sort of reinventing what membership means in their mind, being included, and really not as performers for the club. We're not looking to hire folks on Friday who go away and that's it. We're looking to have the creative class engaged in this club, because that diversity of thought matters.
Yeah.
And it matters whether, again, you're that traditional person who grew up and you're third generation. We talked earlier on the tour in the Olympic ballroom with the parquet floors and the father-daughter dance.
With the granddad.
Is now the grandfather-granddaughter dance. And it is generation after generation that's wonderful. And mixing that with folks who are coming in saying, I never thought I could belong. Mm-hmm. And that truly is the secret sauce of finding a way. And again, diversity to us here is almost table stakes now in the city.
Right.
It's really inclusion. You should feel welcome when you come in.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
And so when the affordability comes into play, again, that sort of lease payment, not buying a luxury car, enough to have $100,000 to walk in the door, you can get on our website, you can come talk to our membership folks, you can take a tour, learn more about the club and see if it matches. Because whether it's the social network, the athletic network, the co-working spot, you literally look at when you see what you're paying in 3 and 4 and 5 different things in town, and then you put the value proposition in one building, all of a sudden you say, I think I might want to know more about membership.
It's easier than I thought.
We want to be approachable, and again, we want people to feel included as you arrive.
Joe, thank you. This was awesome. We'll be back for sure.
We appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Take care, Steve.
Wish I could get psyched to go out at night, see my former friends.